million. It was girls' participation. And over 39,000 teachers were mobilized, or they mobilized these activities in different parts of the continent. And about 37 countries participated, including Namibia. And this is really exciting because this is the way we get to engage with different people at different levels in the education sector, but also engaging people in the homes, and the parents and so on, as we are involving in the kids to engage with these 21st century skills and so on. The timeline for 2020 is actually that in August, we then concluded that because of COVID-19, these Africa Code Week for this year has to be virtual because of this, the COVID-19 situation and all that. So we're planning to cater for the whole country to have these trainings taking place in all 14 regions. But one thing which is very interesting to the mix that has never been done before is the Africa Code Challenge. And this is something that is just being introduced this year. We would like to have young people teaming up to demonstrate teamwork and so on, and then they will be having an opportunity to actually build solutions. And once they build their product, they will have a jury, a group of people that are going to analyze their solutions, and then select the best products and the best teams, who will then be able to participate at the continental level, which means representing the country and play against with the rest of the continent. And usually the event takes place in October, where we then encourage almost everyone, the participants, different schools, different organizations, to engage in coding activities. And that's what we're looking for actually this year. And just to give you a highlight as well, like what is it like with this Africa Code Challenge, is that the teams have to be formed up by people between the age of 8 and 16 across the continent. They can have coaches. They can have, let's say, the coach can be either a parent or the coach can be a teacher, for example. And these can be coding clubs in the schools. It could be, clubs that will be formed up from today, for example, or it could be coding clubs that are already existing, and so on. And people can also participate on an individual basis, for example, if they would like to join the competition, for example, alone, for example. But more emphasis is put on teams, because one of the objectives is to encourage young people to learn how to work together and so forth. And people will be winning, the teams will be winning different prizes. This includes computers, tablets, and so on, and Wi-Fi devices. Excuse me, there's somebody. Yes, okay, thank you. Thanks so much.
Mr. David.
Right.
Mr. David.
So this includes the teams will be winning different prizes, computers, tablets, internet devices, as we've seen. With the COVID situation, there is a force that is pushing us towards digitalization, and we need the infrastructures, we need devices, we need the skills for us to really implement e-learning, for example, solutions into the schools, and to continue learning, for example, in this difficult time. But one of the things that we've done is that because of the limited time and space to meet physically, so the teams will be required to create a video pitch presentation of the game that they're going to create. And this work will then be analyzed and judged by the panel. which will then announce the winners at the country level. And as I said, these 3 winners will then be able to participate in at the continental level. And we are encouraging people from all sectors to build up these teams and to act as mentors and coaches to support the youth between the age of 8 and 16 to be able to build their solutions and then present their solutions in the best possible way so that then they can. Hello?
Hello. Yes, some people are actually saying they can't hear you properly. Maybe you can just pause your video and you can just use the voice for maybe for the better connectivity.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Robin, for that.
Yes.
Sebilon?
Yep, Andrew.
I think I see some of the participants' mics are still on. That's why it echoes a bit.
Okay.
If they can just mute themselves.
Yes, please. If we can please mute our mics, please, for those that are having the mics. All right. Okay. Sorry for that. So as I was saying, colleagues, the competition is open for all kids, boys and girls between the age of 8 and 16, and they can participate on an individual base, and they can also team up in groups and compete, and they will be having an opportunity to win different prizes, computers, tablets, and internet devices. This is to support the learners in terms of having tools to help them with their e-learning activities and so on. But at the same time, also learning these new skills and the very most important 21st century skills are required to strive and thrive in this difficult time, in this time and beyond. And we'll be taking questions as time goes by, but I'll then kickstart the discussions that will be taking place from our different speakers. And if you allow me, I'll then start off with the speakers. We're going to start off with Anna. Hello, Anna. Are you there? Anastasia Shipepe, are you there?
Yes,
you probably have your mic on.
Yeah,
All right,
here.
okay. Awesome, okay, great.
Does that mean I should start?
Yes, Anna?
Or...
Not yet, Anna. I will.
Okay.
Yes. Colleagues, we will then move on to the speakers. I just want to confirm that we have all the speakers ready. Josephat, are we there?
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much for making time. Anton, are we here?
Yes, Sebilon, I'm here.
Okay. Thank you so much. We have all the speakers around. And I'm going to start off, I'm going to give the opportunity to Anna, but before I give the opportunity to Anna, I'd like to introduce Anna. Anna is a computer science lecturer at the School of Computing at the University of Namibia. Anna is serving as the lead in so many technology group and also Facebook developer cycle in Namibia. She was part of the founding member team of the Internet Society as a vice president. Anna is involved in so many initiatives related to robotics and computing machineries and so on. And she's been participating in so many activities around women empowerment and technology and so on. Please, Anna, the floor is yours to comment on issues related to digital skills as well as the launch of the African Code Challenge.
Thank you, Josephat. Right? Did I just call you Josephat? Thank you, Sebulan. Hello, everyone. I'm just switching on my video just for. Wait, Sebulan, you gave me an opportunity to talk, right? Gave me the floor, right?
Yes, yes. The floor is yours, Anna. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'll turn off my video because my internet is a little bit unstable. Can I share my screen? Please.
Critical first 48 hours of a crime. Now on nighttime.
Can you all see my screen?
Not yet, Anna.
Okay. Yeah, once more again, thank you for having me here today. So when Ina called me to be part of the speakers for this very good initiative,
Excuse me,
I was
Anna,
thinking
are you having a presentation? Hello, Anna, are you having a presentation?
Sabila?
Are you having a presentation? We can't see your screen if you are presenting something.
Yeah. So you can't see my screen?
No, we can't see your
The host has to stop sharing his screen, so Anna's screen can come up. There are two sharing screens. Host
Okay.
take off the screen, then Anna's screen
Hello?
can come on. The
Yes, I'm
host, please stop
actually
sharing
allowed
the
for
screen.
multiple sharing. But if you're having some troubles with sharing the screen, maybe you can just let me know so that I can stop sharing my screen.
Okay, but I think there's still, you are still sharing something on the
sharing.
screen. I think that's why my screen is unable to come up.
Okay.
Okay. So let me share again. Now, can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, and can other people mute, please? Maybe. Okay. So yeah, I was saying thank you once more again for having me here to be one of the speakers for this, very good initiative. So when Ina contacted me to be part of the speakers, I was thinking to myself, oh my goodness, what am I going to talk about? And I quickly thought of the, different themes around coding. And I was also going through the website of Africa Code Week, and I came across, a very good statement that says it takes an empowered village to raise a child in the digital world. I mean, in the digital age. And I think it's really through initiatives like this that, that this can happen. I'm someone who was born and raised in the village, and I only started coding or I only got to know about coding when I was a first year at UNAM. So, and it was really a little bit hard for me to catch up and really understand the concept behind coding. Although I eventually understood what was behind coding, but it was really hard for me. And initiatives like this really, when we are training the trainers to go teach our kids, it would really make a big difference. because I mean the trainers, teachers, you know, they will create awareness about coding, and the learners will then get to know codings at an early stage. So to me, coding creates a culture of, you know, critical thinking, problem solving, and initiatives like, you know, Africa Code Week contribute to also learners' communication skills. Like Sebilan mentioned, I mean, there is going to be a competition, and there are going to be different teams. So it will really contribute to their problem-solving skills, critical thinking, and of course, you know, communication skills. So I was speaking to a school principal from Okafitukaka Kamba Junior Primary School in Otapi, and she was telling me that the learners, they are not introduced to, or they are not being taught practical, you know, they are just being taught theory. And if I just, you know, remember correctly, I was taught a locus, for example, when I was in grade 3 or 4 there, and really up until now I can't really use or apply this locus labeling knowledge anyway. But I mean, if our learners are introduced to coding at an early stage, instead of, you know, being taught how to label a locus, maybe they can be taught how to code robotics, and come up with locust toys instead of just a locust that is in the book, for example. And yeah, and I really think also, now that she mentioned that learners need to be taught practical, I think maybe the Ministry of Education also need to revisit the curriculum and really include the fourth industrial, or have it centered around the fourth industrial revolution and the fifth industrial revolution. So, because at the end of the day, we need to create thinkers, you know, and this will, of course, open doors to different opportunities. I mean, if you have learners coding toys, they could be, you know, turned into business opportunities, startups, employment opportunity, who knows? And I like this quote by Erkki Sittinen that says we need to be the master of technology and not just the slave of technology, by, of course, digging more, learning more about, you know, coding. And this will, of course, you know, encourage learners to take up careers in the STEM field. So really, I was also asked to talk about, you know, the youth involvement in such initiatives. So if I think students are involved in initiatives like this, as maybe organizers, you know, with different roles, it will really open different opportunities for them. And Code Week, I think, has a power to create gender disparity, and this who, I mean, this talks to women empowerment, for example, because I mean, there are still girls out there that think coding is not for them, and it's through initiatives like this that we can encourage them. Sabina, how much time do I have?
You have 3 minutes left.
Oh, 3 minutes. Okay, so I also spoke to a few friends, colleagues today about this initiative and what they think about coding and bringing, you know, coding to schools. And like I mentioned earlier, I spoke to Ms. Lahia Ushana, a school principal at Okafitukaka Kamba Junior Primary School, and she said our education should focus on both theory and practical, starting with junior primary. Of course, she mentioned that they already have a module on somehow entrepreneurship, and she thinks that if this can be merged with coding, it will really make a difference um, in the learners' lives. And Mr. Titus Haidoa, a lecturer at the University of Namibia, says coding is fun. And Mr. Gabriel Ninda from the Namibia University of Science and Technology said the future is digital and coding is a language to decode it. And Ms. Josephine Muntumo, a lecturer again at the Namibia University of Science and Technology, says the future of an African child depends on their ability to know coding. And she further also said that everybody needs to learn coding because, I mean, it really teaches you somehow how to think logically, if I can put it that way. And again, I already mentioned this quote by Prof. Erki Sitinin that says we need to be masters of technology and not slaves of technology, really by digging more, learning and understanding that the technology behind coding. I think my 3 minutes are up, and having that said, this brings us to the end of this presentation. I thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Anna, for those insightful information and your perspective on technology, young people, education, and so on. I would like to give an opportunity to Mr. Anton van Beek. Mr. Anton van Beek has been a teacher for 31 years. And he's also been, he's currently the principal of a school, and he's having experience being a principal for about 14 years. I had an opportunity to work with Mr. Anton on various projects related to education technology and so forth. Mr. Anton has completed a Bachelor's of Science in Education and has a diploma in data metrics, information systems, and also a background in electronic and an honors in computing. And he has experience in programming languages such as C++, C#, and Pascal languages. With that note, I would like to give Mr. Anton, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Sebulon. Good evening to all, and thank you for having me. I will take it from a school's perspective. It is a fact that computer technology is becoming increasingly important in today's world, and we cannot function without it. Now, because of this, one would expect that more learners will study computing at tertiary institutions, but I'm not sure if that is the case in Namibia, and that the students satisfy the demand of the industry. Maybe Anna will be able to answer that question. There might be several reasons why they do not pursue careers in computing. Now, the question now is, what do schools do to motivate learners to study computing? Now, we first have to look at the situation in schools. There seems to be a confusion between and computer studies. Many schools, or not many schools, offer computer studies. Now, computer studies is where they do system analysis, data paths, number systems, logic gates, writing and interpreting algorithms and computer programs. In fact, I'm aware that there is only one school in Irongo region that offers computer studies, and the regional examination officer confirmed that. So schools offer subjects like IC and offers practice, where they basically teachers or learners are taught word processing, spreadsheets, and not all of the learners have access to those subjects. It's a choice subject. The other thing is that teachers are also not properly trained in computing. So there is little introduction to computer programming in schools. And learners are intimidated rather than enlightened. And they see programming as difficult and mysterious. So the answer to the question is schools do very little to encourage introduction to programming. So the question now also is how can we remedy the situation, or how can we improve the situation? First of all, I wish to applaud Glowdom for assisting with the initiative of the Code Week and coding for the past years now. I believe that the introduction to programming should be fun for learners. That you know the scratch visual environment that you use for coding to teach learners. Definitely spark interest in programming. So this initiative also make programming as I was asked when I talked about why do you want to teach learners programming in schools? And my response was, digital fluency does not mean that one should only browse, chat, send messages, or play games or interact. One should also design and create programming, and programming allows for that. You see, many learners, they are comfortable in playing games, sending messages, browse the internet, but they are not able to create their own games or simulations. And someone said once that it is the same as you can read, but not write. So it's very important that you also are able to code, to program. So I am excited about this coding week, and I strongly believe that this will definitely spark the interest of learners at schools. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anton, for your comment and perspective on education and technology and the coding and those highlights. Thank you so much. I would like to give an opportunity and the floor to Josephat Chiho. Josephat is a human rights and youth advocate on social and internet related issues. He's a founding member and is currently the vice president of the Internet Society Namibia. He's been a member for Namibia Internet Governance Forum. He's been participating on various activities, including Mandela Washington Fellowship, as well as Afrinic Fellow. He's very passionate about youth development and initiatives in the country, and also supporting women empowerment and so forth. Josephat, please, the floor is yours. You may take the stage.
Thank you so much. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you so much. I think I was more in a similar situation like Anna, you know, when Ina reached out to me, I was like, what do I talk about? What am I going to talk about? You know, how am I going to make sure that I convey the right information? But anyway, to move on, good afternoon to all of you. Firstly, I would like to thank Glowdom for reaching out to the Internet Society Namibia chapter to be the guest speaker at this event and involving the chapter in this magnitude event that is not only being recognized in Namibia, but Africa, if not the whole world at large. So we are honored as a chapter to be part of this challenge. My name is Josephat Chiho, as Sebulon said, and I serve as the Vice President of the Internet Society Namibia chapter. And I'm particularly glad that I'm part of this discussion to talk and engage more on the importance of digitalizations, Industry 4.0, artificial intelligence, and the 21st century skills, to name but a few. As this, ties in well with what we as an organization aims to work for, especially on educating and raising awareness on internet-related issues. Maybe just a bit about the Internet Society is that the Internet Society works on an open, globally connected, secure, and trustworthy internet for everyone. The world has been moving and been revolving in different stages, from the first industrial revolution that we know, which was market transitioning from hand production method to machines through the use of steam power. Second industrial revolution, which was more about the installation of railroads and telegraph network, which allowed for faster transfer of people and idea as well as electricity. The last one, or before we move into the current one, was the third revolution, also known as the digital revolution, which was more about extensive use of computers and communication in the production process. We are now in the fourth industrial revolution, where we are talking of using modern smart technologies, large scale machines to machine communication, the IoT, which is the Internet of Things integration. So in as much as this development might also seem a bit scary to some people, we cannot also really deny the development and advantage that this development has brought to things such as improved communication, things such as self-monitoring, things such as accessibility and availability of information. So interconnection where machines, devices, sensors, etc. communicate with each other via the Internet of Things, transparency of information, technical assistance, and so forth and so on. So as we might also know, the fourth industrial revolution consists of many other components also. And then artificial intelligence cannot also left behind, as components and contribution that comes with it contribute to the development of innovation and technology. We are in a century that I believe requires us to think, to act, and to solve problems differently as before. At this stage, our mind is our greatest asset in solving current and real issues that we are facing in this era. And we need to develop critical thinking. We need to think creatively and invest more in information literacy, media literacy, technology literacy, leadership literacy, and all the other components, especially in this 21st century that we are in. And one of the things also on digitalization is that I believe this also contribute to information being easily accessible and having more content online. And one of the things is also that we as the Internet Society with the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, as well as other stakeholders, have also started an initiative of creating the Namibia National Digital Strategy, where we are trying to see the loopholes, benefit, and all the other components of digitalization as a country. Also, like what Anna alluded to, I've really also went onto the website of Africa Code Week, and I've seen the great work that they're doing. And then also through the Internet Society, we have also engaged with Glowdom on the Chapterthon grant, where we learn about the great work that Glowdom is doing, especially in bridging the digital gap, as well as training the teachers, which I believe is an important approach, as it can easily duplicate the information to a wider number of learners. Coding is very much important skills to learn in this era, and especially at a younger age, as it does not only boost your mind and creativity, but contribute to finding innovative ideas that can solve real life issues. So through the Internet Society as an organization that works on multi-stakeholderism approach and inclusivity, we congratulate Glowdom on this initiative that you have been running for a couple of years. And we also render our support to this initiative through available means at our disposal. So really, thank you once again for reaching out to the Internet Society Namibia chapter, and we look forward to engaging and working with you on internet-related issues. I think I'll stop there for now.
Right. Thank you so much, Josephat, for that information that you shared and highlights on some of those different areas of computing, such as AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and the importance of the 21st century, and also highlighted where we are coming from as a society and the globe in terms of the advancements of technology and so forth. I would then would like to see if just to comment and let the audience know that if you have any questions, please feel free to type your questions, for example, in the chat. We still have about 15 minutes left to answer the questions. If there's any questions on any of the speakers, for example. I'm seeing that there is a question here. I have a question on the speakers. How far maybe is Namibia in adding coding to the school curriculum? How long will it? If I got the question right, it's more like the integrations of coding, as it was highlighted by Mr. Anton, as in, say, like some of the schools have some subjects related to technology and so on. But how long do you think this would take, for example, to integrate coding as a skill or as a subject in the school curriculum? I know that the platform might not be right for this, but what are your takes on this? This is to the speakers. Anton, would you like to take that and comment on that one?
Okay, yes, Belon. As I've mentioned earlier, that previously we had there was a subject, computer study, practice in school. So they replaced it with, that is now for the junior information communication technology, and now recently there's a subject IC, information communication. Now computer programming is only offered at secondary level, computer studies, and only a few schools offer the subject. According to some, it's a specialized subject. So I am not sure when that will change, but the focus is now on to teach learners basic computer skills and not programming. Thank you. Thank you, Sebulon.
Right. Yes, Anton. I would like to comment or add on Anton's comment.
Yeah, not directly though. I think he asked me a question when he was talking. If I remember correctly, was a question on how we can encourage coding. Anton?
Yes, Anna. The question was, I'm not sure how many learners.
Yeah.
And if the demand of the, does it satisfy the demand of the industry, the number of students that enroll for computer studies?
Okay. Number one, I think for us to encourage coding, one is through initiative like this, when and create an environment that is fun, open, and make learners think outside the box. Solving different things through coding. It could be, especially for beginners, it could be, through Scratch. I mean, starting with them learning Scratch, something that is more easier for them to grasp the programming skills. And I'm interested in robotics, but it's this is not why I'm saying this. So there's something about robotics. If a learner is able to code a robot and see the robot, doing what the learner wants it to do right away, that alone just triggers them to know more about programming, to know more about what is behind these technologies. I think if we can look into that angle, having more, although it's not yet in the curriculum, I think we can do what we can do for now. Having more workshops with learners, it can be, Glowdom can have workshops with learners on Saturdays, or where we can have all of them at the same time, because I mean during the week they're at school and all those kind of things. But I mean, if we need to do what we can do for now to make sure that they learn coding at an early stage, and I think that will then in the STEM field. Over to you, team. Sebula?
All right. Yes, Anna, thanks so much for that. Josephat, would you like to say something? There was a comment, it was not really a question, but it was a comment on, like, for example, there are, lack of infrastructures and devices, and especially schools in the far north, for example, that most of the schools don't have, for example, computer studies as a subject. And here we are talking about coding. What is your take on that with respect to us moving forward? I know that these are some of the things we don't really have a lot of decision power and so on, but this can spark some good ideas of how we can start engaging and addressing some of these issues.
Yes, thank you so much, Sebulon, for the question. As you have alluded, these are some of the areas that we do not really have that much power in it, but what we try to do is that we try to engage with different stakeholders. We have not that very much as Internet Society particularly engaged more with the Minister of Education, but we've been more engaging with the Minister of ICT in terms of trying to find ways, trying to find innovative ideas on how we can connect the unconnected. Particularly also to touch on it is that through the Internet Society, we also try to avail some different grants, like the Chaptathon grants and Beyond the Net grants, for people to apply on initiatives that are related to internet activities or initiatives, So this can also perhaps be one of the connected, devices for schools or institutions that are not connected per se. But however, it all then depends, because the whole question then will also fall back if this coding, if these subjects that we are looking for are not into the school curriculum, then also how do we then move ahead in terms of creating infrastructure for subjects or initiatives that are not really that much integrated into the school curriculum. But I would say that from an Internet Society perspective, that we try to avail resources in terms of financial, in terms of capacity, to ideas or to suggestions that are related to internet activities or initiatives. But however, we do not really have that much power into making decisions and implementing some of these laws and policies in place.
Right. Thank you, Joseph, for the comment. We have one more question, and I would like to give this question to Anton. The question is, how easy or difficult is basic coding to junior primary learners? And perhaps with the experience we have, Anton, with the more advanced programming languages and as well the basic visual programming that you have mentioned in the presentation, how do you comment or what are your thoughts on this question? How easy or difficult is the basic coding for junior primary learners?
Yes. These the visual programming environment of Scratch is an people. So they learn by exploration. It's a bottom up approach, and it's a fun thing. So they create their own simulations, they create their own games, and it sparks the interest of these learners. And I would also say that I would also will agree with Anna about robotics. I think it will also engage learners more because it's a practical thing, and they see what they create. So the Scratch environment is a relative easy environment for. You will be amazed. Small kids, they are very creative if you give them the opportunity. And I think that the Scratch environment is just that environment that they will explore their creativity. Thank you, Sebelon. That's the one more thing that I would like to add is that the Scratch environment also teaches concepts of computer programming as well as good programming habits. Thank you, Sebelon.
Sebulon, can I quickly add something on that?
Yes, Anna, please.
Yeah. You see,
I
now
was
we are
going to
living
ask
in
you
a.
your concluding remarks. Hello, Anna. I was going to ask you your conclusion remarks actually, but you can round up
Oh,
and
okay,
then
it's
also
fine.
perhaps yes.
Oh, okay. So this can be then part of the concluding remarks. So, first of all, thank you so much for this initiative, Glowdom. It's really something that Namibia needs now, and have we don't really have we have limited resources. For example, I was talking about robotics, but we can always use the simulators. So learners, and I think that is still going to be exciting to them. It's similar to Scratch. So I mean, if they can see a robot crossing over a computer screen, I think that will still trigger something in them to learn more about coding. And lastly, try to create when you're going to go about this. I mean, to organize this competition. Create an environment that is fun, but it's going to be online, right? Virtual?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, and the Computing Society, UNAM Computing Society is keen. I'm not quite sure if they are here though. They are keen to be involved as organizers. Thank you so much.
Right.
Yeah, that is
all. Anton, your last word.
Yes, Sebelon, I also would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to say a few things here. For me, learning to code or coding should be a fun thing. It's the only way that we will engage the learners around programming. So we should keep on creating for our learners to engage in programming. Thank you.
All right. Yes, Anton. Thank you
I'm
for
done.
that.
Thank you.
Okay. there is a bit of delays in the network, so it's a little bit difficult to get when the lesson is done. I would like to give Josephat to say a few words from your end.
All right. Yes. Once again, also, thank you so much, Sepilon, for reaching out to us with this idea. We believe that coding is really a very relevant program to be included into the curriculum and so forth. So we should try to really encourage more because it contributes to innovative ideas, especially in times of challenges like the COVID-19 and so forth that we are living in. So let's encourage, let's see what we can do. Let's make it creative and try to get as many stakeholders on board so that they can see the potential and the values of this kind of initiative. And then together we can be able to really amplify and come up with creative and innovative solutions using coatings and robotics and so forth. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much for the speakers. I would just like to add a few key milestones with respect to the Africa Code Challenge and Africa Code Week and the trainers of trainers. We are looking at a timeline of September, October, and November, whereby in September we are looking at the registrations round 1 of judging in. We'll be doing round 2 of judging and at the global level, at the continental level. And then winners will then be announced in November and so on. Official communications will be sent from UNESCO's office to the Ministry of Education office, and then the communication will be then done to the regional levels, which will then be disseminated to the schools, as we have been doing in the past in the past years. Feel free to engage us, share the information, how you can reach us in the chat. Thank you so much for the audience for making time and availing time for you to attend this launch and the announcement of the Africa Code Challenge. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Sebilan.
Thank you, Sepilon.
Thank you.